blind date. Well, I dated a little in high school, but not very much. And the girls that I did date, I went out more of as just something to do and than anything else. And my cousin, Kathy, who had the most beautiful red hair I have ever seen on anybody. She later died of an embolism. She was very fit. She jogged and she hurt her knee, and an embolism developed in her knee. And the clot eventually went to her lungs when she was about 40 and killed her. And which is why I don't jog. And she said, I'd like to introduce you to somebody. Her name is Valerie. And I said, well, what does she do? Because I was pretty picky, actually. I wanted to be in a relationship. I wanted to be in something serious. I never wanted frivolous or superficial relationships. And she said, well, she goes to college here, and Texas A&M had a branch there. And I said, oh, good, okay. All right. I said, yeah, okay. I'll meet her. And then we met at a restaurant, and I saw her, and I said, and I talked to her, and I looked in her eyes, and I said, boy, she's got depth. Because I would talk about things, and I was really into science and space at that time, and I would talk about building a spaceship and just traveling the solar system. And she said, her first words were, take me with you. And I knew something, because other girls that I had mentioned that to thought I was crazy. And, well, you can't build a spaceship. And she said, take me with you. And I said, oh, this is really special. And, well, then come to find out, I said, well, you go over to A&M. I said,
need anything else right now? All right.
Let me pick you up and let's go do something. She goes, I don't go to A&M. She said, I'm 15. And I was 19. I said, you're 15? That's perverted. But I'm in love. What do I do? And so I called Kathy up, and I said, Kathy, you didn't tell me she was 15. And she was, well, you wouldn't have gone out with her. But she said, you two are a perfect match. She talks just like you, Bill. That's all she talks about is things of the world and science and history. And she never talks about girl stuff. I don't mean that as an insult. And I said, well, I can't help it. I got to go see her again. So I called her up, and she said, yeah. She goes, I was wondering if you was going to call. And so we went out on a second date, and we started smooching, you know. And I said, we got to get, because it's a small town. I said, we're being watched. People are seeing us. And I've half the people in that town are related to me, and the other half are related to her. And so I said, I know a place we can go. So we went out in this place, and it was this empty field, and we're smooching and having fun and talking and whispering in each other's ears. And all of a sudden I hear this machinery, and we're at a waste dump. There's these big trucks, and they're bringing in the trash, and they're dumping them about 100 feet from us. And these guys get out of the truck to do whatever they're doing, and they're looking over at us at what are y'all doing here? So I said, our second date is at a trash dump. That's so sweet. It stinks. And it did, it stunk. So that's so sweet, it stunk. But it was at that trash dump on another date that became kind of our favorite place, oddly, that I asked her to marry me. And I remember she was real quiet for about 5 minutes. I didn't know. I said, uh-oh. she's trying to figure out how to tell me no without hurting my feelings. And she got up. We were in a van, so where you could get up and kind of walk. And she got up and she sat in my lap. And she put her arms around me and she said, "I'll have your children." And I said, "Hallelujah." I never expected you to say you'd have my children. I was looking at a yes, you know. But I thought that was such a loving, caring way, and a look to the future of telling somebody that you love them and you'll marry them. It's by sitting in their lap and saying, "I'll have your children." And I took that as a yes. But that's how we met. That was our blind date, and then a couple of dates afterwards. And that was I always owed Kathy. I always told her, I said, "I owe you my life," you know. And she says, "I just knew you two would hit it off." And here it is, 40 years later, and we're still hitting it off. And I so hated that Kathy passed away, but it was the doctor's fault, because since he was an avid jogger, he thought it was just a regular knee injury. Maybe not totally his fault. So he put a brace on her, which was the worst thing he could do. He put a tight brace on that knee, and that clot just kept building up. And then when he took the brace off, clot hit her about midnight, and she actually it went through her heart, got into her lungs, and she actually called somebody. She had enough wherewithal to call somebody. They came and picked her up, because ambulances are really slow in that town. And they came and picked her up and rushed to the hospital, and she died in the car on the way. And what a beautiful, beautiful woman Kathy was. Just the most beautiful red-headed woman you'd ever meet. A little volatile. She worked at a prison, and everybody there respected her. All the prisoners, because she didn't take guff off anybody, and she was raised that way. But all the prisoners, they said, respected her. All the staff respected her greatly. But anyway, she's the one. She's responsible for getting us together. And I thought the trash heap, and in the midst of that stinky trash, her telling me that she'll have my children was just a great way to start it. You know? But that was our blind date.